What's going on, everybody? Khalip's Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, we're going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy A23 to the TCL 20A 5G. So let's get started. Now with the Samsung Galaxy A23, we're getting a 6.6-inch 90Hz PLS TFT display with a resolution of 1080p, a PPI of 400, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. With the TCL 20A 5G, we're getting a 6.52-inch LCD display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 269, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. So in general, both of these phones do have pretty good displays, and for what the TCL 20A 5G is, I am pretty impressed with it, considering it's just an LCD display, nothing really special. The colors and the image overall do look really good, which considering TCL did start off making TVs, I'm not really that surprised that their phones have good displays. But then again, that being said, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is still on a different level. With the 1080p resolution, we're gonna get a sharper and crisper image, and the colors and viewing angles in general are a little bit better as well. In addition to this, the Samsung Galaxy A23, even though it's not by much, is a little bit bigger, so that's also going to help a little bit, and it does have a 90Hz refresh rate, so the movement on the screen is going to be a little faster and smoother. So when you're streaming videos, playing games, anything that involves motion on the screen, you're going to get a better experience there, and when you're just navigating through the phone in general, it's going to feel a little bit more premium. Now, is that really a game changer? Not really in and of itself, but combined with everything else, I do think if you want the best display between the two, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is going to be the better option. But again, the TCL 20A 5G is really not bad for what it is. Now, the Samsung Galaxy A23 has 128GB of internal storage with microSD card expansion, and the TCL 20A 5G has 64GB of internal storage with microSD card expansion as well. So again, storage-wise, neither phone is bad, especially for what they are. Neither of these are particularly high-end phones, so with the TCL 20A 5G, 64GB really isn't bad, and for the average user, you're probably going to get by just fine, especially with the microSD card. But that being said, the Samsung Galaxy A23 does have double the storage with 128GB, so that is something to think about, especially if you're a power user. If you have a bunch of apps and stuff besides just photos and videos, you might want to consider getting the phone with the most internal storage. Now, there's no wireless charging with either of these phones, but both of them do have fingerprint scanners. With the Samsung Galaxy A23, it's right here on the power key, and with the TCL 20A 5G, it's right here on the back. So it's nice to see that both of these phones do have fingerprint scanners, and they both have face unlock as well. So with both phones, we're getting two options here to unlock them. But that all being said, let's go ahead and give these fingerprint scanners a try and see how well they work. So starting with the Samsung Galaxy A23. There we go, one more time. And there we go. So real fast and responsive. Works really well, no issues here. Now moving on to the TCL 20A 5G. There we go, one more time. And there we go. So as you can see there, the fingerprint scanners on both phones work really well. I have no complaints. And combined with the face unlock that each of them have, you're not going to have any trouble unlocking these devices. Now taking a look at the camera setups here, with the Samsung Galaxy A23, we got a water drop notch for the front-facing camera, and this camera is 8 megapixels. Then on the back, we got a quad camera setup with a 50 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera. For video, this phone can shoot in 1080p in both the rear and front cameras, so no 4K or anything, and I wouldn't say the video quality of this phone is really the best either, but if you're just doing something like Snapchat where the quality isn't too important, you should probably be fine there. Now with the TCL 20A 5G, we also got a water drop notch for the front-facing camera. You can't really see it just because of the wallpaper, but it is there, you can kind of see it in this lighting. And this camera is 13 megapixels. Then on the back, we got a triple camera setup with a 16 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. For video, the TCL 20A 5G can shoot in 1080p in both the rear and front cameras, so same kind of thing as the Samsung Galaxy A23. Not going to be really the best video quality, but if you're doing something really simple, like making a video for Snapchat, something like that, then you should get by just fine. Now, while the video quality on these two phones isn't very impressive, the photo quality is a different story, and this is especially so for the Samsung Galaxy A23. This phone can really take some nice photos, and not only that, but both of these these phones do have pretty much every camera feature you could ask for, at least in a mid-range phone that is. And despite the TCL 20A 5G not having a depth sensing camera, you still can use portrait mode. It does work pretty well. And both phones have an ultra-wide camera and a macro camera, so if you're taking lots of photos and you want a variety of different features, then either phone will definitely get the job done. But that being said, I do think the Samsung Galaxy A23 does have superior photo quality here, so if you want to take the best photos you can between the two, this is gonna be the phone to go with. The colors, lighting, details, and pretty much everything just look better overall. But if you're a more casual user of the camera, then again, the TCL 20A 5G might not have as good quality as the Samsung Galaxy A23, but the quality is still pretty good. You can take a few nice photos here and there for social media and you'll be perfectly fine. And remember, it does have all the features like the macro camera, ultra-wide camera, all that. So if you want that variety of different photos, maybe you want close-up detailed images sometimes, but you also want to get maybe a skyline photo, scene, something like that. While the Samsung Galaxy A23 is the best between the two, you're still going to have all those options with the TCL 20A 5G. Now internally, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is getting 4GB of RAM with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 680 4G processor. The TCL 20A 5G is getting 4GB of RAM as well with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 480 5G processor. So as you can tell just by the names of those processors, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is a 4G phone. There's no 5G connectivity here. It is LTE only with the Samsung Galaxy A23, but the TCL 20A 5G is of course a 5G phone, so if you do want that 5G connectivity, the TCL 20A 5G is going to be the way to go. But that being said, I did run Geekbench 5 benchmark tests on both of these phones, and with the Samsung Galaxy A23, we're getting a single core score of 386 and a multi-core score of 1644. With the TCL 20A 5G, we got a single core score of 523 and a multi-core score of 1773. So there's a bit of a difference here. The TCL 20A 5G is not only the 5G phone between the two, but it's also a little bit more powerful. Not really that much, but enough to make a difference. So if you want a little bit better performance, then the TCL 20A 5G is going to have an advantage here. But that being said, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is not slow by any means. Despite being a 4G phone, this phone is actually faster than lots of 5G phones in a similar price range. So it's really no slouch. If you want to do more normal activities like sending text messages, making calls, browsing the web, going on social media, and even streaming videos here and there and doing some light gaming, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is going to get the job done just fine. But again, if you're going to be on your phone a lot and you want a little bit better performance, then the TCL 20A 5G might be a better choice because it is a little bit faster. Now for the battery, the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a 5000 mAh battery that supports 25 watt fast charging, and the TCL 20A 5G has a 4500 mAh battery. Now I'm not quite sure about the fast charging on this phone. I didn't find that information, but I will say from experience, this phone does charge up decently fast. But that being said, the Samsung Galaxy A23 does charge up a little bit faster. I feel like very few people are really going to be in a situation where it's going to make a whole lot of a difference. All you really need to know when it comes to fast charging is that both of these phones do charge up really fast. So if you do have a good charger that's, I'd say, at least 10 watts, then you should be good to go. Now as far as the battery size, there's not a huge difference, but the Samsung Galaxy A23 does have an advantage here with, again, a 5000 mAh battery versus 4500. So if battery life is your priority, then the A23 might be a better option. Now another distinct difference between these two is that the Samsung Galaxy A23 does have NFC and the TCL 20A 5G does not. Now in case you don't know what it is, NFC is the main technology behind contactless mobile payment services like Google Pay. So if you do any kind of tap and pay stuff, I would definitely say the Samsung Galaxy A23 is going to be a better option for you, because once you get used to that kind of feature, chances are you won't want to switch to a phone that doesn't have it. So if that is you, then the Samsung Galaxy A23 is probably going to be your best bet. But if you don't use contactless mobile payment services, then of course you have no reason to care about NFC at all. But in conclusion, which of these phones is better? Now, despite a few advantages the TCL 20A 5G has, I would say for the most part the A23 is going to be the better device. The Samsung Galaxy A23 clearly has a better display with a much higher resolution, a higher refresh rate, and a slightly larger size. It also has double the storage, a better quality camera, a slightly larger battery with better fast charging, and NFC. So again, if you use contactless mobile payment services, you can do that with this phone, but you can't with the TCL 20A 5G. But on the other hand, the one advantage the TCL 20A 5G really has is the processor, because not only is it a little bit faster, but we also are getting 5G connectivity here. So if you do really want a 5G phone, then you're going to want to go with the TCL 20A 5G, because again, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is 4G only. But in general, if you're doing a lot of content consumption and taking lots of photos, or you use mobile contactless payment services, I do think you're going to be happier with the Samsung Galaxy A23. But again, if you want 5G connectivity and a stronger processor, maybe you're on your phone a lot and you just want things to be faster, then the TCL 20A 5G might be a better option for you. Now, if you want to learn more about either of these phones, I do have several individual videos about them and other comparisons with them as well on the channel, so definitely check those out. But I hope you enjoyed this comparison, and I hope you found the information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. But as always, I will see you in the next video.